Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I mentioned in a previous video that the Hare Krishnas in West Virginia were suing the Energy Transfer Partners company that they are also constructing a pipeline, the Rover pipeline, through Hare Krishna land, and they're violating the agreement. They are not supposed to disturb surface ground, and they're also not supposed to violate sacred land. And apparently, Energy Transfer Partners, is feeling like it can do anything it wants to. And so they're being sued on religious grounds by the Hare Krishna organization in West Virginia. And so I did mention briefly that the divestment movement is still going on against Wells Fargo because of their support for Energy Transfer Partners and then also Dakota Access Pipeline. And so, like I mentioned, it's very heartbreaking to see the closing of the camps in North Dakota, or almost all of them. There's still some open, like Cheyenne River. But it was a setback, and it's heartbreaking. But it's not over. The fight is continuing, and that's what happens when you fight on multiple fronts. Even if you shut one front down, all these other multiple fronts are in play. And this has gone worldwide. This is Energy Transfer Partners, not against Sioux Nation. This is Energy Transfer Partners against the world. The world knows what Energy Transfer Partners is and what they've been doing. They've been trying to control the media narrative, and people have seen through that. It's gone worldwide. And so more people are divesting. And so I've talked about the Hare Krishnas in a different video. This is the divestment movement still continuing. This is an article at Las Cruces Bulletin. And it says that state Democratic Party closes Wells Fargo accounts to oppose the DAPL funding. So the Democratic Party of New Mexico has withdrawn its funds and closed its accounts at Wells Fargo Bank because of that institution's funding of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And they have a press release saying that. And so they support the tribe's efforts to have a seat at the table and to make sure that their voices are respected. And so they are in solidarity with the tribes that are opposing the Dakota Access Pipeline in North Dakota. And so I'll leave a link to this article in the description, and you can read more about the decisions and the reasoning that the Democratic Party of New Mexico used in coming to that conclusion. But there's more. This is an article at Digital Journal. It's from March 3rd. Private investor divests $34 million from companies tied to DAPL. Norway's largest private investor, Storebrand, is divesting from 3 companies tied to Dakota Access Pipeline. And so that's more clout to the campaign to hit the Dakota Access Pipeline in the pocketbook. And so Storebrand is a sustainable investment manager with $68 billion in assets. They announced that they had sold off 34.8 million in shares in Phillips 66, Marathon Petroleum Corporation, and Enbridge. These companies are tied to the Dakota Access Pipeline project. And so Matthew Smith, the head of Storebrand's sustainability team, made that call. And even though, there's been decisions by the Trump administration and the Army Corps of Engineers to move forward, the Energy Transfer Partners and their project is being hurt financially because activists are focusing on banks and investors. And so Norway's bank, DNB, already announced back in 2016 that it had sold its assets in the Dakota Access Pipeline. So this is now we're talking about another investor, at this time a private investor called Store Brand, that's also divesting. And so I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to this article in the description, and just go on and say that the DeFund DAPL campaign is growing, and that although cities like Seattle and Davis, California, have divested their holdings, that there are also cities currently contemplating how to go about doing their divestment too. This movement is growing, it's not shrinking, it's growing. And so Minneapolis is also talking about divestment in its city council currently. They're making decisions and looking at feasibility. And there are other cities that are contemplating doing that as well. And so it's going forward. It has not stopped. They think it's over. It's not over. If you thought it was over, it's not over. Regardless if you're on the energy transfer partner side, if you're on the anti energy transfer pipeline side, it's not over. The fight has moved from location to Washington, D.C., to West Virginia, to Norway, to Seattle, to, the Trans-Pecos pipeline. It's everywhere. It's worldwide. And so, again, you think it's over. It's not. It's worldwide, and it's ongoing. And people have identified energy transfer partners as a clear and present danger to their physical health, one, and then their cultural health and their sovereign rights. With the eminent domain issues, they're just offending everyone. And so the whole world is watching and divesting. And so stay tuned. We'll see who's going to sue Energy Transfer Partners next, who's going to divest from, Wells Fargo and Phillips 66 and Enbridge and everyone else next. Who's going to, what else is going to happen? So it's ongoing. Good luck.